Raccoons rank among the most mischievous creatures one can encounter. Hence, it comes as no surprise that a man's attempt to release an injured baby raccoon, after his heroic act of rescuing it, took an unfortunate turn. Raccoons, often affectionately referred to as trash pandas, are widely prevalent throughout America. Although their precise population figures remain uncertain, it is widely believed that they exist in substantial numbers, given their frequent sightings in the wild. As an illustration, wet lowland regions are estimated to host a population density of approximately 50 raccoons per square kilometer, or 0.4 square miles. In contrast, forested or agricultural areas are believed to have an approximate density of 20 raccoons per square kilometer. If you reside in America, chances are high that you have encountered at least one of these inquisitive creatures, if not an entire family, exploring the streets during the nighttime. But what prompts them to embrace such proximity to humans with apparent delight? The answer lies in their insatiable hunger for food. Being natural scavengers, raccoons are inherently attracted to the abundance of discarded food present in our brimming garbage cans. Their remarkable dexterity allows them to effortlessly pry open loosely secured lids, leaving even Pringles cans vulnerable. These mischievous creatures rely on their keen sense of smell to track down the most pungent and, in their discerning taste, delectable food items. However, because raccoons get quite close to urban areas, it's sadly not uncommon for them to get injured, whether it's from a passing car or a loose dog in its backyard. Raccoons have a tough time navigating the urban world, and it's because of one of these sad accidents that a man called Cat Wag ended up stumbling across an injured baby raccoon one fateful day. This story happened over a decade ago, back in 2010. That it started off as a normal day for Cat Wag, a man who lived in the United States. He had been going about his usual business when he came across something incredible. The man had been walking along the sidewalk for a little bit of exercise when he noticed a strange shape lying on the verge just ahead of him, curious about what it could be. Cat walked up to the object only to be surprised when he saw that it was a baby raccoon. The small creature was sitting in the middle of the grassy verge, looking quite a bit worse for wear as Cat got closer to the creature, though he was able to see just how bad the animal's health actually was. It almost looked like it was on the verge of death. Looking around the immediate area, Cat was unable to see any sign of the baby's mother, and so knowing that the animal wouldn't survive if he left it alone, the man decided to pick the creature up carefully and take it back to his home. Once back at his house, Cat gave the raccoon a long look over. But what he discovered didn't fill him with confidence for the animal's chances of surviving. The raccoon, who Cat decided to name Loki after the Norse god of mischief, due to how naughty he knew the nocturnal animals could be, was in terrible shape. He was suffering from dehydration and was covered in parasites, such as ticks, abscesses, and a few other serious injuries. It was clear that the creature had been on its own for quite a while. Feeling sorry for the raccoon and wanting to help it as best as he could, Cat quickly hurried to his local veterinary office to get a second opinion of whether the baby would make it or not. After a thorough health check, the vet told Cat that the raccoon was in bad shape, but that with a lot of love and care it could possibly pull through. However, the first 24 hours would be the most crucial. The doctor then removed all of the parasites on the outside of the animal, collecting quite a few ticks as he did so before giving the creature a few vaccinations to help combat any parasites that were living inside of him. After that was done, the vet then gave Cat some instructions on how to best look after the raccoon, along with some recommendations on the best food to give him. Although he gave the baby animal's chances of survival roughly 50-50. Cat told the vet that he understood, but that he wanted to try and save the raccoon if he could. The kind-hearted man then gathered the animal up and took Loki back home. Once at home, Cat gave the raccoon a thorough bath, washing him with anti-flea shampoo before drying the animal in a big, fluffy towel. One of life's greatest pleasures, although wild animals usually don't take too kindly to being bathed. Once warm and cozy, Loki settled in for a night of relaxing sleep. Cat wasn't so lucky, though, as he was determined that the little guy would make it through the night. The man stayed up with the baby raccoon all night long, making sure to feed him at regular intervals and keeping an eye on him to make sure that he was still breathing. Luckily, Loki pulled through the first night, which increased his odds of survival significantly. Cat was over the moon when he realized that the baby raccoon would be okay. As the days went by, the kind-hearted man fell into quite an easy routine with the baby animal. He would always make sure to feed Loki at regular times and happily helped him get exercise daily. As Loki got healthier and stronger, he began to show a keen sense of adventure and a bit of a cheeky personality. Cat and his wife very quickly fell in love with the little animal, and they massively enjoyed doing all sorts of activities with Loki. From cuddling up at night with a raccoon for a good night's sleep to watching films together, Loki even got to share the popcorn, although he did make quite a bit of a mess. It wasn't long before the little raccoon began to amass a following on social media with all of the adorable pictures that the couple posted of him, but despite how sweet Loki was to Cat and his wife, the couple made sure to make it explicitly clear on social media that raccoons in general weren't pets and that people shouldn't try to domesticate them. It seemed that Loki was simply an exception to this rule, but as the animal got bigger, Cat began to think of ways to help the young creature learn the ways of the wild. The man had taken on the challenge of saving the raccoon, always with the intention of releasing him back to the wild when he was ready. But in order to do this, Loki would need to know how to scavenge for food along with all of the other necessary skills that came along with being a raccoon. To give the animal as much help as possible in learning these skills, Cat took Loki to someone who had helped rehabilitate wild animals before. The goal was for Loki to get a taste for the wild, and when he was big enough to venture out on his own. Only when it came time for Cat to let the young animal go free, something went really wrong. It seemed as if the raccoon didn't want to return to the wild. Loki, being a discerning individual, reached the conclusion that his current living arrangement provided an unparalleled level of comfort. With a dedicated in-house chef who diligently served him a variety of meals each day, he had no need to rummage through trash cans like other creatures. While most animals naturally heed the call of the wild and embark on an independent journey, Loki found solace in his cozy home. In an interview, Cat revealed that Loki proved to be a remarkable exception as he steadfastly refused to leave their side, regardless of the encouragement given. Cat and their spouse were deeply moved by the raccoon's unwavering determination to remain with them. It was a heartfelt testament to the genuine affection and love Loki harbored for them. Notwithstanding the circumstances, both Cat and their spouse consistently emphasized that the raccoon had the freedom to return to his natural life whenever he desired. Ultimately, the little raccoon spent a little over a year living with the Wag family. Tragically, he succumbed to complications arising from a vaccine. Despite the relatively short duration of their companionship, the small creature experienced a life brimming with love and care, a cherished existence that fulfills the deepest desires of any being, whether human or animal. Isn't this story incredibly heartwarming? Share your thoughts on it in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your perspective. I hope you liked this video. Please share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.